Blessed is the God of Abraham for showing his people what true suffering looks like. I want you to ask yourself, if this picture was worth a number of words, how many would be worth? 1, 3, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million, a trillion? How many words is it worth? Skip right past the billion. How many words is this thing worth? When you look at it, what do you feel? Do you feel nothing? Because he's a little dark-skinned boy? And the self-hate and the outer hate, or the extra hate, I should say, that comes from some of those who consider themselves black. It's an amazing thing that YouTube would try to block the last video by saying that there was content in it that they felt that was inappropriate for those under the age of 18. While the video that I detailed after that had much more graphic tales. Men being shot over 1,000 times and their bodies being burnt to crisp. Men coming up completely missing. Men just getting dead and no one knowing who to blame. But I put this picture in the video and they say that it goes against their guidelines. I need y'all to really look and see that that is a missing cranium on this baby. And I can't tell if the little boy is shocked or hurt or surprised. By looking at the bottom part of his eyes, it looks as if he had already cried as much as he could cry. Unless his eyes are just naturally poofy like that. Some people do have eyes like that, but looked as if he may have already done all the crying he could have done. He just doesn't know what to do. Now they want you to believe that people like him, when they grew up, if they decided that they were going to live a life outside of the established law of the land, that he was a criminal, not understanding what he had been through. But they would want me and you to somehow lock arms and lock hands with those whose lifestyles and way of living is totally within question. These were peaceable people. They weren't wanted or suspected in any sort of illicit activity, i.e. vice, so the selling of drugs and the prostitution of women, sometimes men and children. They weren't known for having fraudulent money. They weren't known for anything bad, y'all. It wasn't called the Black Gulag, right? It was called the Black Wall Street. So I believe that once again, if we just stand back and look at it, you're being forced to look at this picture. I hope you go look at yourselves when it's all said and done and ask yourself, what does that little boy, what did he deserve to have to do that? And if you're saying that the sins of his forefathers brought that suffering upon him, then what do those deserve who would have done this to him? What do they deserve who've done this to him? What does their seed deserve? Do they not deserve the equal destruction that they have wrought upon people in an unmitigated form and fashion? Understand me when I say not one modicum, one scintilla, one iota of sense can be made from what happened to your people, to my people, to our people during this time. Now, I accept that my God sent us here for punishment. I accept that my God sent us here that way we would once again call upon his name. And I accept that my people do not accept that. Having accepted those things, I do not accept the fact that they who are the established powers and authoritarian subjects or rulers over subjects have yet to see the issue with their ways. One has to be either evil, mentally deficient, or incompetent to understand, a combination of all three sometimes, or a combination of two of the three, but at least one of those things in its fullness, to say that they don't believe that there should be justice done on behalf of this. Imagine if that was you holding one of your babies like that, holding your closest loved sibling like that. Imagine if that was you holding your most loved nephew or niece like that. But only you wouldn't be a little boy, you'd be a grown man or woman. The frustration that I have is legitimate. The anger that I feel is righteous. Yet I hold my hand because I know, just like my enemy knows, that when the day that there is nothing that anyone can do, true justice shall be achieved, and the wicked, all of them, shall be removed from off of the earth. I salute this young man. I pray that when he grew up, he became a righteous man and never forgot what his people went through. I pray that he survived all the struggles of life and lived a full life. He did not take his own life, and that no one else took his life, but that he went laying in his bed, surrounded by his family and those who loved him. I pray that he died like that. For God knows all too many who left places like Black Wall Street, Greenwood and Rosewood, all know way too well that those people would leave and become what you call a vagrant or a criminal, whores and johns and dealers of vice. And they would look up and ask, oh God, why is this happening to me? And because we were never told that we were sent here to be punished by the God on high because we are of a peculiar or particular bloodline. Those who are punished the most are surely under a peculiar bloodline. And those who inflict the wounds upon themselves would seek to be called that which you are, but they are not. I look at this little black boy and I just tell myself, Meeks, that could easily been me. I could be the one with my head blown off and my brother hold me. Or that could be one of my younger cousins or just anything. And it just bothers me so much that as opposed to seeking real justice and a way to stem the tide of the suffering with the people, they seek after vanities. I say to you, again, as the Messiah told them in the days before now, so that way those would understand, and I'll explain the parable to you. Woe to them that are rich, for they have received their consolation here on earth. For you have received your consolation here on earth. Stop right there. Did he say woe to them that were rich? Did he say woe to them that used to be rich? No. Woe to them that are rich. Meaning that everyone before that point, I cannot say that they will not have been accepted for whom they were. It's more believable that come the time of the Messiah, that more wickedness abounded than wickedness had abounded before, and that there were less men who had rightfully gained their riches on the earth and within the world, and that they had used deceitful, wicked, and evil means to accrue their fortunes. There are many that built their house on blood, the blood of others, seeking to have their sins hidden. They say that the damage done is only worth $27 million. Do y'all understand that this little boy is holding a dead body in his hands? How much is that worth? This isn't the son of a Taliban warfighter. This isn't the son of a Mujahideen fighter. This isn't the son of an ISIS fighter. This isn't the son of a cartel member. This isn't the son of any one of the likes. He is not a martyr. He is a victim. And I am sick and sore tired of those who would not bust a grape in a fruit fight with vegetarians, okay, with vegans, okay, would have the audacity, the nerve, the unmitigated gall to speak to us in such a way in which they call our ancestors martyrs as opposed to victims. They didn't want to die for this. Their fathers and their mothers had already died on the plantation, hoping that one day they'd be free. And after their freedom was assigned to them, after their emancipation was proclamated, they were given free range. And within their free range, they sought to make something of themselves that they might be respectable to the so-called white man, white woman, and white child. And what these black people got for trying to be respectable was disrespected, was dishonored. Okay? They were given, you have returned my good for evil. That is what happened to these black people. And it wouldn't be until a decade later that those that had murdered those people took over the land and began to thrive somewhat, would be forced out of the region due to the Dust Bowl. I thank God for the Dust Bowl, but I thank God for George Carver even more, because without him, black people would have starved to death indefinitely. And there is no question to it. Not in my mind. Only in the mind of a fucking moron would they question that. Having said what I said, I think I'm done speaking about this matter. Because every time I talk about it, it makes my blood pressure go up. And I don't like that feeling. I don't like to get that excited. And especially not sound as excited as I feel. Brothers and sisters, I salute you. Be careful. Be brave. Be vigilant. Be ready. Get out of the way. Stand far back out of the way. For these people weren't even in the way, and they were run over.